What's up, guys? It's the Trucking Guy coming at you, bringing you some content. I appreciate you guys tuning into the channel. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Let's get right into it. Should you cancel loads to book something else because you found something and it was paying better on the load boards or whatever? And the answer is no, okay? And I know the brokers will do it to you. I know the customers will do it to you, and it sucks. We have to be held to a different standard than they do. I know some people that don't think that way and they just say, screw it, I cancel, I do this, I do that. But let me tell you what does happen. I used to run a dispatch company, guys. And I would have guys that we would book a load, and in the agreement it was, we book the load, you have to take it, right? And then we got to a point where we would call them and say, hey, do you want this load? But what that does is it creates a buffering window where that load can get booked, because sometimes, guys, these loads get booked in 30 seconds. So you may call and let me get the driver on the phone and see if he wants the load. And I put the broker on hold and I go over here and say, hey man, I got this load, such and such, you want it? It goes from here to here, paying this much. You say yes or negotiate better rate. I click back over, hey, oh, it's already gone? Okay, thanks. So that's the problem, right? Or you may say, okay, I'll take it. And they'll say, oh, my partner just covered it, okay? Because they had somebody else call in and they've got 4 or 5 people or who knows how many people on the team answering and booking loads. So it's basically the first one to pull the trigger gets the load. And sometimes it's not even the first one. It's if I'm on the phone talking to a broker and their partner is talking and they're booking with me for $3,000, this person says, no, I got it covered for $2,500. They'll just hang up with me. Oh, it's already covered. Talk to you later. Quick. And that's as fast as it goes, right? But the problem is, and they may book it with you for $3,000 or just hypothetically, right? Say it's, $2,000, whatever. And then they leave it on load boards and, people continue to call on that load, especially if it's a really good load, a good paying rate, good part of the day where a lot of people are really looking at it in a good area. Somebody else calls, they booked it with you. They're sending you a rate con. Maybe you're set up with them. Maybe you're not set up with them. They're sending you a setup packet. Well, somebody else calls and they're like, oh, so you want to know about this load? Well, how much were you paying on that? Well, they booked it with you for $2,000, and they tell this guy, oh, we're looking for $1,800, and he says, okay, I'll take it, or they'll even say things like, we got it booked for $2,000, but would you do it for $1,800? And then that person has the right to take it from you, okay, because it's very competitive, and they won't call you back and give you the opportunity to take it for $1,800. Sometimes they will, but very, very rarely. They'll be like winning the lottery, guys. Most of the time, they just take it from you, give it to the next guy. They say the load got canceled, or their partner booked it, or somebody else booked it. And those of you guys that are not rookies that know this, you know all about this side of the industry. So you see this constantly happen. But a lot of people know how do you get loads? You go on a load board, you get loads when you're coming in when you're a rookie, right? But you need to know these other things and have negotiation tactics, and you have to learn these things and be very strategic in how you book these loads and the way you conduct yourself, and learn the little tricks and things that go into it. So it's common for you to book a load and it get canceled. So you'll be excited, man, I got this load, I'm going here. And I would say 3, maybe even 4 times out of 10, that load's gonna call back and cancel on you. Especially when you're starting out in your first 6 months, because they don't trust you. You got a new MC, you're a risk, you're a liability, okay? That you don't have enough of a record or you're setting up, right? In the beginning stages, I'd say for the first 2 years, we set up packets all the time, constantly, every day, setting up packets. And what a setup packet is that means you're booking a load on a load board with a broker that you haven't worked with before. So you have to give them your information, your insurance, your MC, all the stuff, right? And they send over a packet that you have to fill out, basically listing everything so they can get you set up in their system, right? Well, if you're doing that every time you book a load because you're new, and I call and they've already done 100, 500, 1,000 loads with me, whatever, and they don't have to set me up, and they know me by name, and they know my company, they know my reputation, why would they pick the guy that they have to set up that they don't know, that's not a safe bet, even if they have to pay me more or pay me the same thing? So what they'll do is they'll just take it from you because you're a liability and put it on one of my trucks. And it's that simple. And it sucks, guys, but that happens, and it's unscrupulous. It's crappy business practice, and I hated it, especially when I was new to the game, but it works in my benefit now just because we're older, but it also works at my detriment if somebody calls that has 20 years experience and, a bigger fleet, 150 trucks or whatever, they're going to take them every time versus, us. But why you shouldn't cancel is because I have been put on, a blacklisted or whatever, red listed, whatever you want to call it, put on a list of do not use, okay? And I've even had situations, guys, where, we had a claim, a small, stupid claim, whether it be with Landstar, JB Hunt, CH Robinson, TQL, whoever, and they put you on a do not use list because of that claim. Well, that claim could be something simple as $250 for you damaging something with a strap or dinging something or whatever, right? And or late termination or late, you were late on the load and they gave you a back charge and you haven't paid it yet or something like that. So you have to pay that before they'll relinquish you from the do not use list and put you back onto the use list. And you have to call, you know, this person, that person, safety, accounting, whoever, and get that done. But if you did it just simply on the broker, you can have a broker that's an agent that works at a company like, say, Landstar, for instance, okay? And this broker, see, the Landstar has their in-house brokerages. They have like subsidiary, like subbed out brokerages that may be like, you know, working from home or working from different offices. And you may piss off this one, and it can be, you know, Landstar Legan or Landstar this or Landstar whatever, and you can still work for the rest of the company, but you won't be able to work for this particular company or this agent because he didn't like you, you pissed him off, or you cancel with him, right? But they can go into the system, the entire Landstar system, and say, do not use this carrier, blah, 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 whatever, you know, he's a douchebag, they lie, they cheat, they steal, they had a major claim, anything, just to be mad at you. And they could be a rookie, they just started 60 days ago, they figured this out, and they're just being a douchebag and giving you this bad complaint on there. I've had this happen to me, guys, where, you know, I'll book a load and then something will change in the details. They'll send it over and say, you know, it needs tarp. And I'll say, okay, well, you got to pay tarp pay for that. And they'll say, no, I'm not paying a tarp pay. And I'll say, okay, well, then we're canceling the load. You're either going to pay my driver a tarp pay or kick it another $50 or whatever, $100, depending on what it is, or we're not taking the load. And they'll say, all right, well, I'm not doing that. And then they'll get mad at me and saying, you can't cancel on me. You can't cancel this load. And I'm like, sure I can. Put it back on the load board the way it was supposed to be posted with a tarp or whatever, right? And they'll go in there and say, you'll never work. They start cussing at you. You'll never work for Landstar again. You'll never do this. You'll never do that. And there's different companies, different agents that do this, right? But it doesn't have to be just Landstar, but there's many different ones. And they'll actually go in there and do that. And then the next load you call on for that company, they'll say, oh man, I can't use you because of such and such, right? So you can say, man, that guy was a douchebag. You know, this is the situation, and maybe they'll work with you. But I've had situations where they just said, nope, we can't work with you. So I had to call different departments, go above that guy's head. You know, they had to listen to a recording or whatever, the whole 9 yards, right? And those are the kind of situations that you get into just to get your company released from that. And it's nothing you did wrong. You just said, I'm not going to be screwed on this load. You're trying to screw me, and, you know, it is what it is. So you stand your ground on certain things, and certain people come after you for those things, and they can blacklist, you know, red list you, blacklist you, whatever the hell you want to call it, or just basically put you on a do not use list, right? And I've had it happen with several different ones over stupid things, and we went around them and got rid of them because it wasn't our fault, and it was just a crappy agent or a crappy broker or someone pissed in their coffee that day. I don't know. So that stuff does happen. If you cancel loads, and I have had to cancel loads because a truck broke down, or the driver just quit that day and said, or owner, operator, or driver, even company drivers, they just quit and they're saying, I'm not taking nothing else. I'm flying home, or I'm bringing the truck back to you, and then I'm getting on a rental car and I'm done, or whatever, right? And there's nothing you can do about that. You can't physically teleport there, get in the truck, pick up the load, and do it for them. So you do have to make that call. Hey, I can't do the load, and just tell them what it is. The driver quit, or the owner operator won't take it, or they won't, or whatever, right? Or the truck broke down. They hate it when you say truck broke down because everybody uses that as an excuse, because they'll say the truck broke down, but then they'll call and book a different load with somebody else, or they already called and booked that load and they're just canceling on that broker. So, and especially in the hotshot world, people, it's bad in the hotshot world, they say, supposedly. But I think it's probably just everybody, whether it's semis, whoever, they'll cancel the load. And that kind of gives the hotshots a bad name, or the rookies or the new MCs a bad name. That's why a lot of companies won't work with you for 90 days, 6 months, a year, because they see a lot of that type of crap happen. And they don't want to work with companies like that or people like that, or put their customers at risk, because some of these customers, whether it be, you know, FedEx or whoever, they're, you know, these major manufacturing facilities, they only give them one screw up, sometimes maybe 2 or 3. And if they have one screw up, they're done. They'll get another broker like that, right? So it could cost them thousands of dollars a year that you just screwed up because you canceled a load because you went and got another better load. So don't do that to brokers. And I know it sucks because they can do it to us. It sucks. But you really have to get some better relationships, some better customers, not rely on the load board so heavily. Or even if you are relying on the load boards a lot, make better relationships with those people. Get some more one-on-one, you know, basis or names, right? But if you're setting up with a new mom and pop brokerage, definitely don't do this, the cancellations to the big ones like Landstar, C.H. Robinson, the TQLs of the world, the King of Freights, all those guys, because they do that. They control a lot of freight, guys, especially a lot of hotshot freight. And if you get into a situation where they put you on a do not use list, it especially like the Landstars and TQLs, everybody's like, oh, they suck. The Coyotes, I would never use them, this and that. Everybody has their preference, right? But the truth is, you might be in an area where you need that one load that they have that's paying really, really good. Could be a couple grand. Now, do you want to screw yourself over where you're not going to be able to use that down in the future? Or do you want to be able to use everybody and have all the doors open? There's a few doors that we can't use. I know that, we had one where they wouldn't unload them for 4 days. And I was ticked. I was like, you can't have an appointment set 4 days out on a 500-mile run. You're going to have to unload this shit today. You didn't put it in the rate con. You didn't tell me. And now he's over there. And it was something light too. And I was like, I told the driver, I said, could you kick this stuff off if you had to? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay. And I don't even remember what it was now. It's been years ago when I first started. And they were trying to take advantage of us and have it, somebody unload it 4 or 5 days later. And I said, that ain't happening. I told the broker straight up, I said, hey, you take this stuff off. Or no, I think he had picked it up. That's what happened. He picked it up, went about 2 hours down the road when they notified of it, this to us. And I said, no, take it back to where you picked it up from. We're not doing that. It was picking up on like a Monday and they wanted to deliver it on a Friday on like 500 miles. So they was tied up all week for a crappy, I don't even know what it was, $1,000, $1,500, whatever. And I said, this is ridiculous. Are you going to pay us for waiting all week? Well, no, we're not doing that. And I said, okay, so we're going to take it back to where it came from. And the broker said, no, you're not, this and that. They're freaking out. They had the low cover. It was already on a trailer strapped and rolling down the road. So I called the driver. I said, hey, take it back to where it was, drop it off. He said, okay, no problem. So he takes it back. He gets there. They won't unload it. They said, we're not unloading it, this and that. And they tried to basically hold the truck hostage, which made me even more irate. So I said, this truck has to average $800 to $1,000 a day. And you're wanting to pay me whatever it was, $1,500, $2,000 for the whole week. And you're going to tie up this whole week without even putting that in the contract, without making it contingent. He's going to be there 8 a.m. This stuff should be unloaded tomorrow. There's no reason why you can't unload it anyway. It's just that person's not going to be there. The facility's going to be closed. I don't know what it was. But I said, this is ridiculous. Why would you book this load then? Book it the day, it's crazy. Book it the way it needs to be done, right? So we take it back. They wouldn't unload it. And I said, look, you guys are going to unload it or my driver's going to kick it off in the parking lot. It's up to you. So, a lot of going back and forth. And I'm not going to mention the company, but because they have somewhat of a good reputation. But we still don't work for them to this day. And that's been, 4 years ago. We still don't work for them. And every once in a while, they'll have a load that I'm like, dang, man, And they did put us on a do not use list, which I wouldn't call it, I wouldn't deal with them anyway after that. But because I went over that person's head to another person, and they were just like, take the damn load, period, or we're never going to use you again. So they wanted to hold the truck hostage and or put us on a do not use list, and it was a mistake on their behalf. So, that's crazy. Nobody would do that. And after I got further into the industry as the years went by, that never happened. I mean, you might have a day off or something, but not an entire week. Nobody's going to hold up the truck for a week. They just wouldn't book that load. They would have that load booked the day before it was supposed to be there or whatever. They just wouldn't book it a week in advance. It's crazy. So that's the kind of thing that you can have happen. But yeah, guys, definitely, if you don't think that this, do not use list is real, it is real. And it's happened to me dozens of times, okay? Because we'll cancel a load, whatever. The truck, sometimes the truck actually does break down, and we call and say, hey, the truck broke down. And what we do to make ourselves more credible, or maybe they get stuck in traffic, like, you hit LA, you hit Atlanta, whatever, and the traffic is ridiculous at, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. What I do is I have the driver literally just take a quick video. He's stuck, he's not moving. He's moving, 0.0 mile an hour. And he'll take a quick video of what's going on. And I'll actually email that to the broker and say, hey, look, I'm not, he's stuck in traffic. He's trying to pick up the load or whatever. Or if there's a major breakdown and it has to be towed or be repaired, I actually have them take a picture of the equipment, the smiling driver saying, hey, the truck is broke down right here. The truck, I'm not canceling the load, or I am canceling the load because the truck, it has a major injector problem or motor problem or whatever, or it's being towed or had an accident or whatever, right? Things come up, things happen. So by trying to be as transparent as possible, you avoid a lot of headaches, okay? So that's a big plus, is just take a video, take a picture, have your driver get out of the truck or go to the service station and say, hey, I had 2, 3 blowouts on the side of the road. I'm waiting on the guy to get here. Here's the guy. And just keep that even if they're mad at you, just keep that record sending to them. That way they don't put you on a do not use list. Even if they're threatening to do it, they probably won't if they see that it's real and it's sincere. But if you just say, hey, you know, the truck broke down, I canceled the load, and you do that several times, they're catching on that, hey, this guy just cancels loads, you know, right before the load is supposed to do. Especially don't do it on a Friday when they need that load picked up to deliver to their customer on Monday, and they gave their word that it would be picked up, you know. And I'm from the brokerage side too, guys, so I see both sides of it, you know. And if you do that to me, I'm not going to use you, because you're just, you know, you're an unscrupulous business person, basically. You don't do what you say you're going to do, and your word don't mean nothing. But when the event that the truck breaks down and things actually happen, just be transparent. And, you know, it's uncomfortable. The customer may be mad. People are going to be upset. Things aren't getting done the way they're supposed to get done, but the truck broke down. And guys, we work in an industry with a lot of moving pieces and consumable trucks and things like that. So, you know, yeah, motors go down, transmissions go down, tires pop, things happen, right? Accidents happen and delays happen. So they, you know, at a certain point, the veteran people need to just realize when they book these things, you can't oversell it and underdeliver. You have to undersell it and overdeliver. You have to say, yes, we can take care of it. But again, it's contingent upon things happen. You know, the world moves this way. And sometimes, you know, if you bob when you're supposed to weave, you get hit, you know. And I used to say this, life's about bobbing and weaving. And if you weave when you were supposed to bob, you get hit. And if you bob when you're supposed to weave, it don't work out. And that's just the way it is. Kind of a boxing analogy, but it's the truth, guys. So my opinion is don't cancel loads. And as much as it sucks, because they're going to do it to you and you'll get mad. You're like, man, I got canceled. I can't wait to book a load under him and do it to him. It's childish. You know, don't let emotion come into your business. I've done other videos on that. Just run your business the way a CEO would run his business, and have, you know, set procedures, and don't cancel loads unless they have to be canceled because the truck actually did break down, or you had a family emergency or a delay or something really, you know, that puts you in a position not to be able to pick up the load. Don't do it just because you found something that paid even $1,000. Don't chase the dollars, guys. Don't put yourself in a position to chase the dollars for your business, because those things are going to be at your detriment, and it's going to cause you issues down the road, right? So say you cancel that load to pick up a load that's paying $1,000 more, or going even to a better area, but you booked this load. You shouldn't have booked that load in the first place, right? If you were waiting on something else to come up, you shouldn't have booked your load. You know, they always say, you know, a bird in the hand's worth two in the bush, because you might cancel this load because you think this one's paying better, and then you get over there and they can't even load you, or the situation don't work out, or it's too heavy or whatever, and now you lost both loads. So you look like an idiot. And I've seen that happen too. You know, or whatever, right? Or you're going to get the other load, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna pay more money, whatever, and they call and cancel on you. So karma, guys. You know what I mean? You canceled on these people. Now you got nothing. Now it's the end of the day. You got to wait till the next day to pick up a load, or maybe it's a Friday. You got to wait till Monday, and you just created a pain in the ass situation for yourself. So, you know, just do what you say you're going to do, and stand 10 toes down on your word and your ethics, and get the loads delivered, guys. And look at the law of averages. Just because that load paid $500 more doesn't mean that you can't pick this load up, get that one delivered, and tomorrow recoup that $500 in a different area, or a different way, or a different position that you're in. And it all even out, and it all average out, right? So it's just a law of averages, guys, that you have to really run your truck. You want to hit, you know, $800 to $1,000 a day, and you want to hit X amount per week. You want to try to be home when you can, and just be successful. So my big tip is, guys, don't cancel loads just because something else is better on the load board, okay? But I do say that to an extent, because if you have a car that you're booking off of Central Dispatch with a one-person individual that's not a big brokerage, that you're not working with all the time, that you're just now meeting, and you know you can't find anything else to go with it, and it's not working out, don't cause yourself stress on something like that. Cancel that load and recover yourself into a better situation. Do what you have to do that's good for business. Make business decisions, and strategically that are good for business, you know. But don't book a load with none of the big dogs and expect to cancel that load just to find something better, because they will put you on a do not use list, and then you're screwed. How are you going to get off of it, right? And sometimes once things are done, they're very hard to get undone, okay? I was fortunate enough when some of these things happened to me that I already, you know, could say, you know, I stand on my credentials, you know, 10 miles tall, because you know, like with Landstar, for instance, okay? When the first situation happened, when the guy put me on a do not use list, it was very easy to me because I already had a contract with them that we had done, you know, we hauled about 5 loads a day for them for a long time, for about, I don't know, about a year. We had a specific thing that we were hauling, and I had 3 or 4 or 5 trucks picking up there every single day. So all I did was call over to my girl that I deal with all the time, and I was like, hey, this douchebag put me on a do not use list, some rookie. And she was like, no problem, hon, I'll take care of it, and I'll take you off of it. And it was done like that. You know, and then there was another situation where something like that happened, and I just had to call through the right channels and say, hey, you know, they put you with a, I forget what it was. It was like a customer relations rep that deals with disputes between the broker and the carrier, right? They probably don't do that for just anybody, but because we had done, you know, thousands of loads for them over the years, I called and I was like, hey, look, this isn't right. I have loads that you guys, you know, that I actually had loads that they were under at the time for Landstar or whoever, and I think it was Landstar. And I had to go through this dispute channel and put in why. Then they called the broker, or they talked to that person or the agent, and then they called me back and they said, this is what was going on. Can you provide your evidence? And I did emails and different things. I had to provide all of that. And then they raised like, okay, well, we're basically at a, you know, a cowboy standoff here. This guy's saying you're a douchebag. You're saying he's a douchebag. We're just going to let it go. You've been a good carrier for us. We don't have any issues, any claims. Just because you canceled this load, we're not going to stop using you. And they opened us back up to keep rolling. And we're still rolling to this day. And that has happened with, you know, TQL, CH, a couple different ones that they've done that. And we've had to go back in and say, okay, what's going on here? We do a good job. We're a good carrier. And when a broker or customer gets irate, even at one of my dispatchers, I have them call me, you know, tell them, hey, call the boss or call the owner. So they'll call me. They'll tell me what's going on. They're pissed off. I get it. And I just tell them, look, I don't know how long you've been doing this. I've been doing it a long time. Trucks do break down. Things happen. Things come up. Delays happen. You know, this load cancels on us if it was pre-booked. But the main thing is just having that clear understanding and not booking a load, you know, telling them, hey, yeah, he'll be there. He's empty, and he'll be there first thing in the morning. When he's not empty, he still has to drive 300 or 400 miles and deliver his load and then go over there to pick up that load. Just be honest with him and say, no, he's not empty, but he will be empty in the morning. This is one of my A+ guys, you know, and I know he'll be on top of it, contingent the truck don't blow into a million pieces, but he has a new truck and things are good. So I think he'll be there tomorrow between, you know, 8 and 10 or 10 and 11 or whatever, and it should be no problem. And then they'll look at your record of doing what you say you're going to do and delivering on that promise, and they'll say, okay, yeah, we'll work with you because you have a good record, good reputation, and we trust what you say is going to be what it is, okay? And then always give them a heads up. If something happens, you know, send that email out even late at night. Hey, the truck broke down. Hey, the truck got delayed. Hey, they couldn't get empty. He's not going to get empty until, you know, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then he's got a 4-hour drive, not a 2-hour drive to get over there or whatever. Just be upfront and honest. And they'll say, okay, and then just let them know. I understand if you have to look for another carrier to pick up the load or to recover it, but just keep me on it, contingent, and please let me know if you do cover it, you know, or something like that. And as long as you can do that, you can win over relationships and really go further in your career. But if you're canceling all the time, I saw a guy on Facebook today was like, yeah, I used to do that. Now I just cancel loads all the time. They do it to us. Screw them. That dude's got to be, if he does enough freight like we do, and he's doing 20,000 a month with a truck, you know, 5,000 a week average, there's no way you're canceling all the time just to find the next best load. You have to be on so many do not use lists. It's got to be crazy. So, but anyway, guys, that's my 2 cents. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. If you like this video, click on the next one here. Keep the party going. You keep watching the content. I have tons of good content out there. And if you guys would love to see something, please give me a comment. Hey, I'd like to see a video about this, and I'll look into making it. But again, this is Trucking Guy signing out. We'll catch you on the next one.